I wanted to say that, Sherry, when this all happened to us, you feel all alone, and you don't realize that other people are out there. And so, I have people that tell me, hey, you're doing a great job and all stuff like that, but, it doesn't really hit here. And I wanted to let you know that you're a very brave and courageous person, and your family appreciates everything that you do. My name is Patrick Maloney, and I want to recognize my wife, Susan. And our angel, our CNA, Francesca Pacheco. Just 3 years ago, my wife was an RN at Memorial Hospital. She took care of patients every single day. She would work 12 hours a day, and she would give so much of herself. And if I wasn't here right now, she'd be the person standing up here to make sure that people get the care that they need and that they deserve. So, I've been asked to speak about the importance of having a well-trained health professional to assist families when they're in need. There's talk at the State House of changing requirements for healthcare professionals and lowering standards. They're talking about the possibility of allowing people without licenses, proper training, or credentials to care for our most vulnerable loved ones. Our loved ones reach a point where they can't make decisions on their own behalf, and as a family, we're overwhelmed by the changes that have taken place and need to reach out for help. Isn't it great to know that when you're overwhelmed and need to make difficult choices, that every single company here in Rhode Island that you choose has already made sure that they have staff that's qualified to help, and not just some random person off the street who has time and would like a little bit of extra cash. She can come up here with me. Susan's been by my side we've been married 25 years. We've been together since high school, sophomore year at LaSalle, 1987. This is the way, actually, I'm gonna put this aside. This is the way we are every single day because we have Francesca at our house. I was able to make arrangements with my company to work from home, so I'm there with her every day, and I still can't do enough to take care of her. I can't do enough to take care of my family. I can't do enough to take care of myself. So our lives we would not be here right now. Our house would be gone, our car would be gone, our kids would be failing in school, and that's just a small thing. Those are things just off the top of my head. So, our loved ones deserve dignity, respect, and they need to know that they're being cared for by a competent, skilled, trained, and licensed professional who has resources of a company that can support them to support the loved ones that we have. Susan was a highly trained registered nurse. She was continuously training for new and unexpected situations. She would support the fight for her and others to be cared for the same way. I don't expect our CNAs and other health professionals to have the knowledge of a doctor or an RN, but I want someone dedicated enough to their field to want to have the proper knowledge and qualifications. Nearly anyone can sit with, feed, and clean another person. I have personally witnessed the transformation in Susan's life from the care I was able to give to the care a true professional is able to provide. I love and care for Susan more than anyone in the world, and I will admit that I wasn't prepared for the task that's required to take care of her each day. Our amazing CNA, Francesca, her supervisor, Nurse Jim, who's available for her and other CNAs every day, the management company that makes sure that each and every CNA that cares for Susan are knowledgeable of her illness, which is, I think, very unique, frontal temporal lobe dementia. But it doesn't matter what type of illness you have. Every single person is different. They make sure that their nurses go to your house and understand what the problem is and get continued education on what it is. And I appreciate that. This company has additional training and makes sure that background checks are done. My mind is at ease when I'm working knowing that the person caring for Susan has been vetted properly. And I mentioned Francesca here today, but her other CNAs are Kim, Desmia, Anita, Valerie, and we had another person that covered. Every single one of them came into my house and told me, I've already talked to our manager, Chris, I've already talked to Jim, our nurse, and I'm familiar with what Susan needs today. What else do you need? You won't get that if we have people coming in who don't have the medical training and background to understand what they're being told. I don't have a medical background. I didn't understand any of this stuff. It took me 2 years to wrap my head around what it was and to comprehend it. I've heard of people not having a CNA that's the right fit for their loved one, and it's good to know that there's a company to deal with these issues. It's nice to know that I don't have to talk to the person when there's a problem, because that's very stressful. I can call the company and say, I don't think this person's the right fit. They're a great CNA, but they're not the right fit for Susan, and they deal with that. Because my children and I have a hard time dealing with this to begin with. And to know that we have the backing of somebody to take care of those things is very important. I was at the point after 2 years that I would have taken help from anybody, including an incompetent person, to get a break. When I'm dealing with a company that's doing their job, I know that it's being taken care of. And the little that they would do would seem like a godsend. I don't have to worry that they're just sending anybody, as they have standards and requirements and wouldn't be allowed to just pick anyone. This would all change if the bar is lowered and the requirement for proper licensing and training are not necessary. Would you want your parents, your wife, your husband, or your children cared for by someone that didn't know what to do? Kids who want to babysit have classes to differentiate themselves from others and prove that they're qualified. We require driver's ed and 50 to 60 hours behind the wheel with a licensed responsible person to prove the new driver has knowledge to not harm or kill themselves or others. Why would we not want the same standards for someone who literally has the lives of the people we care for in their hands? Thank you. I brought a couple other things here just because I want you to see. Anytime I have a problem, I have my wife's care plan right here put together by the people that care for her, and the phone number of her nurse is right on here. I can call them at any time, day or night, to get questions answered. Every day our CNA writes notes inside this book so that when they leave and the next person takes over, they know what my wife did that day, what issues that they saw, things that they see because they've been trained that I wouldn't even notice. Tomorrow my wife has a doctor's appointment with one of her doctors because my CNA came to me and said, I have a concern about this and I'm not sure you're aware of it, and I wasn't. This was a week ago. A week later, tomorrow, my wife has an appointment and we're going to be able to get her taken care of because we have a qualified person there for her. And every single person in the state of Rhode Island, the entire country, deserves that. Thank you for giving me time to recognize my wife, to be up here to fight for her and every other person that I hope never has to deal with this. Thank you.